The NFL draft is less than 5 days away, and we have been mocked out. We are tired of doing mocks. And for the first time, I'm going to make a bold prediction as to what I believe is going to happen in the 2023 NFL draft. So last year, I said that the Detroit Lions, there was no way, my direct statement was there was no way that the Detroit Lions are going to pass on Aiden Hutchinson if he was there. And we just had to worry about whether Jacksonville was going to take him or not. So my bold prediction, I don't think that was too bold. We were the second overall pick, but it was something, it was Aiden Hutchinson, blue chip, blue collar, hardworking, head down, all work, no play type of guy. And I just knew that he fit what we were trying to do. And this was going into year 2. So I believe that without a shadow of a doubt that there are certain things that Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell are looking for. And that's why I don't think Jalen Carter, whether you like him or not, whether you think he's, whatever you think about him, I just don't think that the Detroit Lions are going to pick him. That's just not my thought. So I have considered every year, will Brad Holmes try to trade out? We always think about trading back to get more draft capital. Last year, he surprised us with the trade up for Jamison Williams. So we gave up 32, 34, 46, right? And then I forgot what it was. I think it was 32, 34, 46, somewhere around there. We wind up getting 12, and then we took Josh Pascal with the pick that we got from Minnesota. Maybe he was 46. So here's what I think the Detroit Lions are going to do. I'm just going to pick something, and I think based on what I know of the team, the future of the team, and what we need, I think the Detroit Lions are going to do this. With the 6th pick, I think that the Detroit Lions well, let me just put it like this. I think that it's 2 guys that the Detroit Lions want, and I think they're going to go after these 2 guys, okay? How they do it, I'm not sure yet. But my belief is that Will Anderson Jr. is their number 1 priority in the first round. I've been saying that for the last maybe month. That getting him, even though we needed defensive tackle, I think that you put him on the other side of Hutch, and he's going to, it's going to be game over, right? So I think, and the fact that, if you think about it, you haven't heard anything about Will Anderson Jr. except that he's going to go in the top 3. That's it, right? Just like last year, you didn't hear anything about Aiden Hutchinson. It was all about Kayvon Thibodeau. He was the one making all the ruckus, right? So I think Carter is out of the question. Well, in the question, but he's not in the picture. I think their target is Will Anderson. How they get him, I don't know. It's been speculation that they'll trade up to 3. It's been speculation that Arizona is coming out of 3. And then I heard today that the Houston Texans could take Will Levis. So it's just so many smoke screens as to what could actually happen. But I think that somehow, some way, they want Will Anderson Jr. If you just think about it, he fits. He's very similar to Aiden Hutchinson last year. So that's my thought on what they do early in the first round. Now, that 2nd pick in the first round, my thought is somebody that I was against at first, and the more I thought about it, the more it made sense. Then we go out and we sign a bunch of secondary players, and it even seemed more probable. We go out and we get David Montgomery on a 3-year deal. So he's here for a maximum of 3 years. Till 2026, right? 23, 24, 25. So the 26 offseason is when he would depart, if he lasts that long. With the departure of DeAndre Swift, all but guaranteed this year, after this year, I think that at number 18, if he's still on the board, the Detroit Lions are going to take Bijan Robinson. It just makes sense. A quarterback in the first round, in my opinion, does not make sense. Bijan, a secondary player, I know Devon Witherspoon. I know y'all want a secondary player. Bijan makes a lot more sense, though, because DeAndre Swift, first of all, he's the most complete back. I think if they miss out on Bijan, that Jahmyr Gibbs will be like a compensation prize. That's what I think they're going to. I think their primary target is Bijan because of what Brad Holmes said also in the press conference, that he doesn't treat running backs like everybody else. If he thinks he's the right player at that pick, he's going to take him no matter if they're running back or not. Now, if they miss Bijan, or if Bijan goes before, then they will take a running back probably in the second round. Because let's be quite frank, we need somebody to potentially replace DeAndre. Whether or not DeAndre balls out this year, he is not under contract with the Detroit Lions in 2024. So he's irrelevant at this point as far as the future. Now, if you have an opportunity to take the best running back in the draft, then you do that. Only thing about Bijan, he don't have the breakaway speed. So we probably won't get any huge, like, 80-yard runs and stuff like that. I think Swift has more of that capability than he does. And Jameer, he's gone. He gets away, he's gone. So that's what I think the Detroit Lions are going to do as far as the 6th pick and the 18th pick. I think those are the two players that they're going to go after. It just makes sense. Now, there's a receiver makes sense, but do we want to take one early? We can take one later. A quarterback, a linebacker, still a lot of stuff we need, a defensive tackle. There are still a few defensive tackles in free agency as well that we could look at. Undrafted rookie free agents, later round guys, however it happens. And it's a possibility as well. If there's somebody that Brad really, truly wants, we've seen it last year, he will trade up back into the first round to get the guy he wants and get that 5th-year option as well. A lot of people have been talking about Hendon Hooker going in the first round, maybe like a Lamar Jackson last spot, so you'll have that 5th-year option as to why a guy would be taken at, in the first round. So that's my prediction, is that those are the two guys that they want. Will Anderson Jr. somehow, some way, and Bijan Robinson if he lasts to number 18 and the Lions stay there. They could also trade up in some regard. If we go to Tankathon, I know this is not the draft Bible, but it's just something I like to look at. Will Anderson Jr., we all suspect him to go either 2 or 3. Lions, we've been hearing for a long time that the Lions are trading. They want to trade up to 3. And if they do trade up to 3, this is the guy they're taking. There's no doubt about it. It's not going to be this guy. It's not going to be this guy. It's not going to be a quarterback. It's not going to be Carter. It's going to be him. That's who they're going to take. I am sold on that. I was convinced about Hutch last year, and my mind has not changed this year. If we go down, we could use an offensive lineman as well, but if we go down, Tankathon has Bijan going out of the top 20. A lot of draft experts have him going in the top 20. If he makes it to 18, I think the Detroit Lions take him. We could get the best defensive player in the draft and the best offensive player in the draft. At this point, if we get Bijan Robinson and Will Anderson Jr., we have won the 2023 NFL Draft, no matter what happens after that. Now, that's assuming that Bijan is there at 18 and we don't have to lose any capital. If we come up to get Anderson, if that's indeed what they do, we'll have to sacrifice some capital, probably a few later round picks. But even so, to get the best defender, the best offensive player in the draft, and then have at least 6 or 7 picks left this year, Brad Holmes will be goated if he makes that happen. So those are my thoughts. I think without a shadow of a doubt that Will Anderson Jr. is his target, whether it's at 3 or 6. And I think that we could see something happen. Brad Holmes traded up before. He moved up from 32 to 12. Moving up from 6 to 3 is nothing to him. It's like Shaq. It's nothing to me. So let me know in the comments below. Do you think that's realistic? And if so, how would you feel if the Detroit Lions snag Will Anderson Jr. and Bijan Robinson to be on your Detroit Lions? I know at that point, we've won the NFL draft. But let me know how you feel in the comments below. My name is Derek. Consider subscribing. Hit that notification bell so you can get notified when YouTube actually does its job and you won't miss another video. You guys are awesome. Take care of yourself. And as always, go Lions.